You're at the grocery store, staring at a familiar face, but their name escapes you. Moments later, you're walking down an aisle, suddenly unsure of why you're even there. We all forget things. It happens. But when small lapses become persistent, and just a little too strange, it might be more than simple forgetfulness. Dementia doesn't begin with a dramatic memory loss. It sneaks in, quiet and almost invisible, until it starts to alter the way we move, speak, feel, and even dream. The truth is, by the time most people recognize dementia, it's already far along. But what if you could catch it early? What if a few warning signs often brushed off as normal aging were actually red flags? Today, we're uncovering the 6 early warning symptoms of dementia you must never ignore. These signs show up not just in the mind, but in the body, emotions, and sleep patterns long before full-blown memory loss sets in. And the earlier they're caught, the better the chances of delaying or even reversing their impact. Let's dive in, symptom by symptom. The clues might surprise you. 1. Subtle changes in posture and movement. What if your body could speak before your memory fades? In many cases, it does. One of the earliest signs of dementia appears not in memory, but in movement. People begin to shuffle slightly while walking, lean forward, or carry themselves with less balance and coordination. It might look like they're tired, stiff, or just aging, but it's more than that. Research suggests that the brain areas responsible for posture, coordination, and gait, like the basal ganglia and cerebellum, can start deteriorating early. In cognitive decline, these changes are often mistaken for arthritis or fatigue. But if you or a loved one has no clear explanation for this shift in how they walk, stand, or move, it's worth paying attention to. Especially concerning is a reduction in arm swing while walking. The body becomes less fluid, more mechanical. People may hesitate to climb stairs, have difficulty turning corners, or even feel dizzy while rising from a chair. It's not just the mind that changes with dementia. The body whispers first. 2. Altered senses, a decline in smell and taste. When someone loses their sense of smell or taste, most people think of a sinus infection, or maybe a recent flu. But did you know that a reduced ability to detect odors, especially common scents like soap, citrus, or mint, can be one of the first neurological indicators of Alzheimer's disease? This happens because the olfactory bulb, which processes smell, is closely connected to the areas of the brain impacted early by dementia. These sensory losses can occur years before memory decline, and often go unnoticed. Because people adapt to them, imagine losing the enjoyment of food. Meals taste bland. You can't smell your coffee. Eventually, even spoiled food might go unnoticed. This sensory dulling doesn't just affect quality of life, it's a silent signal that something deeper is happening. Neurologically. Pay attention to repeated complaints of food not tasting right or perfume being too weak. These changes can be the earliest cognitive alarm bells. 3. Disrupted sleep patterns and vivid dreams. This may surprise you, but our dreams may be the first place dementia shows up. Some individuals with Lewy body dementia or Parkinson's cognitive decline begin experiencing intense, vivid dreams, often nightmares accompanied by physical movement during sleep. They might kick, thrash, or talk aloud. This condition, called REM sleep behavior disorder, can appear years before any memory issues. People with early cognitive changes may also wake frequently at night, struggle to stay asleep, or feel exhausted. Even after a full night's rest, the body's internal clock, called the circadian rhythm, starts to malfunction. Over time, this leads to daytime confusion, irritability, and low energy. If someone once had peaceful nights, but now seems restless, talks in their sleep, or experiences frequent insomnia, don't brush it off. Sleep isn't just rest, it's a reflection of brain health. 4. Subtle language problems and word-finding difficulty. Have you ever had a word right on the tip of your tongue, only for it to disappear? That's normal. But in early dementia, this happens more often, and gets progressively worse. People begin pausing mid-sentence, searching for common words like chair or kitchen. They might substitute vague phrases like that thing, or the place where we eat. Over time, their speech becomes less precise, more circular. They may repeat themselves, or struggle to follow conversations. One of the first regions affected in Alzheimer's disease is the temporal lobe, responsible for language comprehension and naming. This is why word-finding issues can be an early indicator, especially when paired with social withdrawal or frustration while speaking. If a once talkative person begins pulling back from conversations, struggling with everyday words, or losing track mid-discussion, take note. Communication is the mind's mirror. When it begins to crack, we must not ignore it. 5. Personality and mood shifts. We often associate dementia with memory, But some of the earliest signs show up in a person's mood, motivation, and behavior. Someone who was once energetic and cheerful may become irritable, depressed, or apathetic. This isn't just sadness. It's a flattening of emotional response. A person becomes less interested in hobbies, social interaction, or even personal hygiene. You might hear, "I just don't feel like myself anymore," or "I don't care." This change is linked to damage in the frontal lobes, which govern emotional regulation, decision-making, and impulse control. In some cases, people become more anxious, paranoid, or suspicious of others, even accusing loved ones of theft or betrayal. These shifts are not just getting old. They represent deep neurological changes and are often the most distressing for families to witness. 6. Difficulty with planning, judgment, and everyday tasks. In the early stages of dementia, executive function begins to decline. This means trouble with planning, organizing, or managing simple tasks like cooking, paying bills, or remembering appointments. The stove may be left on. Directions become confusing. Simple math, like calculating change, becomes difficult. People may withdraw from tasks that once brought them joy, like gardening, journaling, or even playing games, because they're too mentally taxing. This is especially concerning when routine tasks suddenly become overwhelming. Imagine forgetting the steps to make tea or being confused at the ATM. These aren't just forgetful moments. They're signs that the brain's organizational system is faltering. If someone begins to rely heavily on lists, reminders, or others for basic tasks, take it seriously. This isn't laziness, it's a sign that cognitive scaffolding is starting to crumble. The turning point. What can be done? Here's the good news. While dementia is progressive, early detection can slow its progression significantly. The brain, especially in its early stages of decline, still has incredible plasticity, the ability to form new connections. This means that lifestyle changes, medications, and mental stimulation can all play a role in preserving function and independence for longer. Some practical steps. Regular physical activity, even a brisk 30-minute walk, improves blood flow to the brain. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in fruits, vegetables, fish, olive oil, and nuts supports brain health. Sleep hygiene, limiting screens before bed, having a consistent routine, and treating sleep apnea can make a major difference. Cognitive challenges like puzzles, reading, or learning a new language can strengthen brain networks. Stay socially connected. Isolation accelerates decline. Relationships are nourishment for the brain. And there's more. New therapies like lecanemab and donanemab show promising results in slowing amyloid buildup, one of the culprits behind Alzheimer's. While these are not cures, they're rays of hope that didn't exist a decade ago. Final thoughts. The earlier the better. Dementia doesn't happen overnight. It starts small, so small that many miss it. But today, you've learned what to watch for. 6 signs, 6 potential lifelines. If you notice these symptoms in yourself or someone close, don't wait. Consult a neurologist, ask for cognitive testing, and start building a lifestyle that supports long-term brain health. Because the sooner we act, the more power we have to protect what matters most: our memories, our relationships, and the essence of who we are.